Welcome back to
Valerie's
and Roman's Not So Little Potter World. More than 2 years ago, we started with that channel, and we started with, of course, Hogwarts. We wanted to build a minifig size Hogwarts castle, and probably back then we didn't know what Lego was planning to do and what it really meant to do. So you already know this part, you know the Great Hall and with the several iterations. And today we want to show you the quad, the main part of Hogwarts Castle. If you look at what Lego did with his, so to speak, large castle. The problem really was, what does it mean to build on minifig? So the Lego castle is a micro scale castle. So this is a Dementor in micro scale, and that's a minifig Dementor. And that's more than 2.5 times bigger. So building in minifig scale means you're aiming at something that is 2.5 times bigger. And if you have something of the volume here, so it's by the power of 3. So you're talking probably about 10 to 15 times more bricks you're using. So that's quite an effort then in the end. And the second complication we ran into is, of course, that Lego now for the third time changed his theme. And especially in the area, or the era I wanted to say, of the green roofs, it was very, very hard to combine the original or the 2021 Great Hall with the rest what was coming up. So our idea was somehow find a way to combine the newer ones from 2023 with the old ones. So sticking with the style, but using maybe the mechanism there. So all the quad here is a very modular build. I'm going to show you in a moment here. For that, I actually want to just like take everything in pieces or in modules, so to speak, and then bring it back to its current glory. See you in a moment. So, as I just said, we took all the modules away, and we're looking now at the underground section of the so-called quad. So the starting piece of the whole discussion was this part here, this section, which is more or less the original form of the entrance to the Chamber of Secrets, which we got in, I think, 2022 or something, where the new style started. And this thing somehow gave the dimensions of the whole quad, because it is 8 studs wide and 24 studs broad. I liked it because of the brick built head, and the basilisk can walk through fine. So then this set, it is a quad, so it's a square area. So these two parts here are 24 as well. And then I thought, if I invent, so to speak, parts Lego doesn't do, I can connect my pieces here. So I came up with these parts which are all a little bit different for the corners of the brickwork here. So this gave the understanding, and I thought, wow, this gets big. And it does. And the second thing I wanted to include is probably the best of all those modules. It's the bathroom where they can enter to the Chamber of Secrets. And I thought, wouldn't it be great if they could slide from the bath down to the Chamber of Secrets, like in the film? So I added slide pieces here, and there's one slide piece in there as well. And now give me a moment to connect those two pieces, and hopefully it works. We added this module, and let's try. It's always a little bit tricky. So we can open the entrance to the Chamber of Secrets. And now if Harry jumps in bravely, he comes out down here at the bottom. And then he can walk, not this way, walk around the corridor and come in to the door, which is another very nice module, which I reused here. We'll talk about the Chamber of Secrets in another film where I will compare it with the old Chamber of Secrets. So, but this gives you a very good idea, a simple idea, connecting and using the different modules and bringing them together. But it turned out to be, well, big and sometimes complicated. Just as one example, this is the very nice clock tower of the original version here, which would come here. But here we see the problem. Here, this is not 24, it is 20, and it's not 8 studs wide, it's 6 studs wide. So you have to redo the whole thing, maybe in the same design, to become compatible with the new approach. There's a very nice instruction to do that. It's not very complicated, by Michael from Australia, but I haven't done it yet here. And the next thing, of course, you need a large tower to connect to the Great Hall. And this is, of course, probably the most complicated part, because you log a lot of different 45-degree angles. But if you do it right, you get a very nice tower here that connects to the base here. Second thing is, and you saw it in the videos already, we added some common rooms here. We had separate videos on those things where we recreated the banners as interior, so you can fit this here. And hopefully nothing breaks down now. So this goes here, wonderful. And then the last thing I did in the probably last weeks was this side tower to get at least half of the quad done. One could argue that this tower is a little bit too high because the original one is a little bit shorter, but then it gets even more complicated with the connection of the different modules. And then you can push this thing towards the tower, and it almost fits there together. And so now we got, if Valerie walks around, at least half of the quad done. There are, of course, 2 more towers missing. We got a very nice library we haven't talked about yet. We'll show you soon in details. This would probably go here. And we got another starting point of the tower. And you can close off everything with a very nice statue that I probably should have put in earlier. But if I take my time and move this away, we can fly in there, and except the chessboard, nothing bad happens. And so this is work in progress, but I think you get the idea. We need 2 more towers here. I need a good solution for the clock tower. And the big question is if I really have the arch here and connect that. Anyway, Valerie can come around here and we turn on the light again. So as I said, we want to see it in full glory again. And this is how big and how complicated Hogwarts got. And probably in the next days we get the, again, 3rd big hall, and we'll compare to that. But of course we don't need 2 big halls, so I totally will rip it apart and we'll just use the rock work, and then this will be the foundation for this part that is missing. So stay tuned and let's see if I get, or we get, this castle finished. probably in a year or something from now. Bye bye. See you again.